Um, what I wanted to try and do here is I wanted to just do a quick trade review. I haven't made a video here in the Agent podcast for quite some time, but I'm just going to potentially talk over a few things and a few ideas that I had. Overall, let me quickly silence the phone real quick for you guys to get into this quick episode. Not going to take too much of your time because I think I just want to keep these kind of short and concise as much as possible. I do tend to ramble, and I've been working on that is skill set, I guess. And I wanted to start with a top-down analysis. Somebody who recently purchased my crash course, actually, I spoke with them yesterday, just kind of talking over a few things and certain things that I do that have helped me, that I've found have helped me. And yeah. So starting from the daily analysis, it looks like in the long-term trend, we're following and respecting this overall trend line, this purple line, where when we reach the upper bounds of it, we generally get rejected, right? And we generally have weakness. So what I was trying to do is see if we can have a continuation of yesterday's weakness, or see, what could really occur to the downside here on this play. So starting off with my logic for the early morning market open, I was looking to see if we're going to hold this general area here, where I've seen some support from yesterday's, can we break yesterday's lows and create new lows? And if so, where would they go to? And if so, is there a play? Is there opportunity to be had here? So from Friday, we established this support from last Friday. And then yesterday, we used it as support. And then today, I was looking to see if we would continue to use it as support or if we would see more selling. And as you can see, based off this little quick diagram, you'll see what the idea was, what the plan was, where I was targeting to see, hey, is this possible? Is this logical? And what to do with this? So we'll go down to the 5 minute now. But early morning, right before market open, we already started to see continuation of pressure to the downside. Initially, I thought, okay, it probably might bounce off this same support and then maybe catch a bid back up another, 50 or 60 points back up and just continue to, go sideways left to right. But then I went ahead and I actually even found some news and kind of started to take into the effect of sentiment and the overall vision of it all. And I found out that Facebook, or Meta, the parent company of Facebook, is saying that, we may have some issues with the fact of news. And it may not be able to present news as ads anymore because of a media bill that Congress is potentially, looking to pass. And if you know Facebook's business model, a lot of it is pertaining to ads, ad revenue, companies looking to try and create ads. And I don't know why, but my computer is moving very slow at the moment, so I guess I'll just close that piece there and just go back to the charts. But yeah, so ads, a very, very big piece. And even after the Cambridge Analytica issue that Facebook or that Meta had, it's already kind of taken a hit on that. And it's also the general perception of Meta in Congress or even in any form of leadership has been honestly terrible. So all that news to kind of look back and say, well, hey, Meta's probably going to have a very poor day. And that's also what I journaled. And then very quickly, Meta is down north of 5% today. And Meta being a tech name and NASDAQ being a tech-related index, I felt that the entirety of the index would get dragged down with it, right? So I wrote in my notes here, hey, Meta down big today, of at least at the point of trading, negative 5.6%. News that they may be removing news from the platform after Congress basically is looking to pass this media bill. So all in all, it was a nice opening drive play where we started to see the momentum pick up very, very quickly. As you could see here on the 5 minute, and we broke through supports, or we broke through previous supports. And I could turn the volume real quick to show you all the strength in volume as well. The strength in volume was there, pushing it down. And because of where I set as a previous support, or 11636, this purple line going horizontal here, if I go back to the hourly now, you could see where before it has acted as support after being breaking down. So I use that as some guidance to see where it makes sense to be taking profits, right? So I was able to, I did not actually ultimately capture this full trade in terms of buy, sell, buy, sell. I was actually scalping throughout this entire move down, grabbing points here, maybe losing some points along the way, because I did most certainly lose today a few positions. And I'd like to say, ultimately, I'd like to get to a point where I can just enter, go through this position, close. Enter, go through this position, close. And I feel like I'm making progress towards that. There are some days where I take way too many trades, and I kind of incorporated some new things to try and help with that discipline. So I do only make a few trades within the day, and be able to be consistent on that realm. But that was essentially the play, right? And as you could see, where I talked about previously in some other points where I talk about history repeating itself, I can go over that with you all, the history repeating itself page, or the piece, the hit piece that I wrote down, you know. And actually I'll add a link to that piece in the show notes below, just so that you guys have something to kind of look back on and gain some information for. But where is it? I can write it here. But I guess I'll just start reading the first chapter. We have all heard the saying deja vu, the feeling that we've lived through a present situation before in some way or first fashion. Oh, let's see what we got here. Yeah, my computer's just not moving very good for me today. It's moving rather slow. And then I'll go down to, yep, history repeating itself. Yeah, so we've all heard of the saying deja vu, the feeling that we have lived through a present situation before, and some of you may say that you have already actually experienced it to some degree as well. And several wars have been, but between sovereign nations have come about from this very same foundation for years. We could also look to other life examples for help and understanding. We have gone through several mass extinctions, from asteroid-led extinctions of the dinosaurs to, wow, when I wrote this, that was, wow, interesting adjective, right? Rewriting that verbiage here. Cretaceous Pelagian extinction. Talking about these occurrences where things have happened before, and I could even get into the tulip craze. The tulip craze of the 1600s, where, kind of just demand rose, and really push through. And then, and immediate, actually, I'll do my research on the tulip craze, and that'll be the next video. And I'll connect it back to kind of what's happening right now in the crypto space, because it really it kind of helps make you understand why it's happening. And then on top of that, it makes it much more easy to understand the psychology behind why it occurs, right? Behind, like, what really made that even into a thing, like, So yeah, so what I wanted to try and do is, I take that premise that history repeats itself, and I use it to my advantage, where in certain cases where it says, hey, once we break down from this 1200 rejection, and we break down again down to this 17 or this 11,750 range, and maybe, like, where do we break down to after the fact, right? So, and that is kind of what happens. So if I were to come here and draw this brick and then copy that, and place that same said brick over here, right? Because at one point, price pushed up, reached up to this 1200 range, and then we slowly made our way back down, not necessarily immediately, but across several days. So this happened from the 15th through the 17th, and we pushed back down to this 11,550 range. And I'm using that as a gauge, as a tool to try and see where we can continue to stop at, right? Where can I find supports? Where can I capitalize on that? Where can I capture 100 points? And those are the questions that I'm always asking myself. And I've kind of gotten a good deal of understanding on that. I just need to, I would need to, in terms of like where I'm looking to grow and where I'm looking to get better as a trader, is to be more precise with those positions and be more on timely with my entries, just so that I don't have to necessarily scalp my way through it with maybe heavier size, but maybe I could put on 2 or 3 smaller positions and just capture a much like greater piece of the move. So instead of looking for like a 30 or 40 basis points move, maybe I'm able to capture a full 100 to 150 basis point move, allowing me to effectively become a much more profitable trader. So that's currently what the goal is, as well as what the play was for today, and what that was going to go over. I also kind of wanted to show you guys or talk to you guys about Ledger. Ledger announced a new product today in this crypto winter, which is pretty interesting because I'm not really sure who's the person that they're trying to sell to, right? Like, who really wants to have this item? And it's the Ledger Stax, they call it, right? And to my understanding, I tried to get some real understanding of the product itself, and like what was the differentiating factor amongst the other products, right? They have the Ledger Nano and Ledger Nano X, I believe, or Ledger X, which is basically cold storage for your crypto, right? Which is cool, and it's very, very prevalent right now. On theme for the fact that we just had another exchange go under in this past month, amongst other exchanges, where a lot of people who have their crypto in custodial accounts are now gone. And more and more people are switching towards and getting more of an understanding of the hardware, self-custodians, seed phrases, full ownership of the product and of the currency itself, and trying to get an understanding on that. So if I were to pull up real quickly what Ledger is announcing, what it reminds me of is kind of like a Samsung curved screen display thing, right? So it seems like it's a small Palm Pilot kind of sized thing, and they're trying to compare the product to an iPod moment, if you will. And I don't know exactly how effective that's going to be in terms of marketing and so on, and I'm going to close out this charts here just so I could get some more RAM on the computer. Boop. And what they're doing with this now is they're trying to say that it's going to be this, boom, here it is, right? This Ledger wallet, it looks really small, looks apparently paper-like, item that you can also display your NFTs on the front screen. Cool little gimmick feature. Not really sure its general application or use, but it has these things where you can name it, have your NFTs displayed on the front of it, and so on. And I'm just trying to understand, where is this different than the rest of the USB? Like, obviously it's a screen, right? Clear, sign in, comfort and screen. You could read and confirm and sign your transactions with a screen, and you can vault your NFTs, vault your crypto, of course, everything you need to explore, supposedly. And what I'm thinking of is does this offer like one specific feature that's just like so required? Like, you know what I mean? Like one feature that you just say, dang, I have to have this. And as of right now, I don't think I see that. It's still a wallet like the other options that they have that are way cheaper, $80, $170, than this $279 that's coming through. Yes, you have Bluetooth and ownership, you can connect it to your phone to be able to buy and sell as well. But like, I think what would be really cool, really, really cool, is if this could somehow connect to like a digital card or like an Apple Pay kind of thing, where I can then use my crypto or maybe my stable coin as my wallet. So if any place that does accept Apple Pay or Google Wallet or any other like form of NFC payment or like, that form, I think that would have been really cool as a feature. And it may be a feature that they may be, pushing through within updates, maybe. But I think that is the premise of this. And it does seem to be pushing into that direction. It's probably not currently available, but one of the features that they do seem to be leaning more towards is the fact of, in the future, documents and certain important things such as, land deeds, maybe your flight information, like other forms of certification, maybe your identification card for your state, may be on these devices, right? Assuming adaptation, right? And I believe one of the keynote speakers goes on to say, hey, I'm old, or back in the day, we never thought in 10 years everybody would have broadband. And then next thing you know, 10 years after that, the decade following the previous decade, everybody had an iPhone, or everybody had a cell phone in their pocket. And the concept before that was payphones and spiral phone lines. So that's kind of the question. Like, what can this product become? I mean, right now I'm much more like excited with the potential of this device, right? The fact that I could potentially store deeds in a secure way on this device, as well as cryptocurrencies, as well as my Bitcoin or my Ethereum or what other NFTs, whatever else, right? I think that's more of the inspirational, like, bigger step leap. It doesn't necessarily have much utility to me at the moment. If I'm still looking for security and place to store my Bitcoin, I'm probably going with the other products that they have. The Ledger Nano S or Nano X, I could quickly show you, which are basically just little thumb drive looking devices that you can connect to your phone said way, and kind of just have great private key security of your own crypto. And this is not an ad for them by any means. If Ledger would like to, reach out and maybe make some comments on the item based off this podcast or whatever other comments that I may make towards Ledger, please feel free to reach out to me. I would love to sit down and talk with you guys and ask a few questions. But I've been super, super intrigued with Ledger and what they've made. I personally have never owned a Ledger product. I've definitely thought about it, and I'm definitely on edge and potentially looking to purchase one, though. I'll give you that disclaimer. But yeah, I mean, in terms of what's going on and all in all, the Ledger Stax seemed to be something that grabbed my attention today after trading, and I kind of wanted to just share that with you all, because it's kind of a part of the agent lifestyle, and like new tech, what's happening in the finance and in the technology world, all of it, bringing me full circle back to when I used to make videos as a 14-year-old kid talking about innovation now, going over HTC phones and everything. So hopefully I'll be able to continue to make amazing episodes such as this, and be able to kind of go over content, go over things that are really passionate to me, whether it's philosophy, whether it's trading, whether it's technology, all of those things are things that I like to continually incorporate within the content that I provide to individuals, and as it really does emulate my morals and some of my personal goals as well. But yeah, I mean, aside from that, that's today's play. That's also kind of some news that's on my mind. And I'll try my best and I'll continue to schedule out time to be able to record and make new videos. Hey, and I will let you all know. But aside from that, that's all from the agent. I hope you all have an amazing day, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace. Dang, that was so Marquez Brownlee. I should maybe. Okay, hold on.